Hello, I'm Marina Orms of Astrology Heals at astrologyheals.com, and this is video 3 in our Countdown to 2020 series. So we are counting down to 2020. Particularly, there's a special astrological alignment that's going to be happening on January 12th of 2020. So soon after the year begins, this conjunction of two planets is going to be exact. The outer planets Saturn and Pluto are slow-moving planets, meaning that they have to do with big picture themes that we are going through, energies we're experiencing in the collective, and what's coming up, and what is the invitation for what we can do about it, how to respond. So this is video 3, and today we're going to be talking about the symbolism of Pluto. Pluto is one of the planets involved in this Pluto-Saturn conjunction, and Pluto is a factor in the themes of our times, and it's an important planet for us to understand. But before I jump in to talking about Pluto, which, by the way, Saturn and Pluto this week right now are 4 degrees, just about 4 degrees and 7 minutes apart. So if you're familiar at all with geometry, that's a very small angle, meaning they're very close to each other. And they're going to be moving closer and closer as we head toward January 12th, when they will be 0 degrees apart. They will be exactly together. So we'll be following that as we go through these videos in our countdown. And before I jump into talking about Pluto, I just wanted to mention briefly that if you're watching this video in real time when it's released, we had Mercury go direct yesterday. And so yesterday for this video was November 20th of 2019. And so that Mercury stationing direct is giving us a chance to start moving forward on some things that have been percolating or ruminating or processing internally. And specifically, this recent Mercury retrograde period was in Scorpio. And Scorpio is a deep emotional water sign, so it has to do with how we process things emotionally and internally. And it deals with mystery, it deals with power, it deals with transformation, and how we process things that are coming up for us emotionally that may relate to the past, that may be coming up again to be looked at, to be processed, to be healed. And that has been the opportunity of this Mercury retrograde period. So if you have been experiencing some intensity, some feelings coming up, some issues or situations that bring up old themes for you emotionally, this has been an opportunity for those things to come to the surface, to be looked at and worked through as you do your own healing process. So really important for us to have these Mercury retrograde periods. We have, it happens a few times a year where Mercury goes retrograde, and it's a time of reflection and looking again at, looking deeper, processing things more deeply in terms of how we think about things, how we perceive things. And as we go through that reflection and review, we have an opportunity to get clearer about things, to understand better where we need to be and where we stand on things, and how do we want to articulate them. So each time Mercury is retrograde, it's going to be in a particular sign of the zodiac, and this one being in Scorpio meant that it had to do with some emotional themes. And again, it may be things from the past coming up that are ready for a new level of processing and healing, and ready for you to clear some old stuff and move forward. So with the Mercury now direct, there is a little bit more of that forward movement, and it, of course, moves very slowly at first, so it will pick up speed as we go through here. And in addition to that Mercury retrograde, we are looking this week at Pluto. And so Pluto is involved in the transits of 2020. Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn. I've been talking about Saturn, and I talked about Saturn in our last video. So if you missed that, you'll definitely want to go watch that again. And so the symbolism of Saturn closely relates to the symbolism of Capricorn. So, Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. They deal with very similar themes. The difference is that Saturn is obviously a planet, and Capricorn is a sign with the characteristics of that planet. So when the signs are regions of the sky that planets go through, and when a planet goes through the sign of Capricorn, as if you're a Capricorn sun, your sun was in the sign of Capricorn at the time of your birth. But at any time, different planets can be moving through Capricorn. And we've had Pluto, which is our outermost planet in our solar system in terms of especially the planets that are significant in astrology and have been given that status of importance in astrology. Not that there aren't other points that are important in astrology, but Pluto being that outermost planet is really relating to one of the deepest ways that we as human beings understand truth, feel in our gut what's important to us, experience power, and grapple with what it means to have power. So where Pluto relates to the symbolism in many cases of power dynamics, and it relates to our own deepest place of truth and passion, and what we're really like when it comes down to it, what we're so passionate about it, that we're willing to live and die for. And Pluto also deals with transformation and rebirth, and so death and rebirth. So the fact that Pluto has been in Capricorn since about 2008 means that all of these years we have had Pluto going through this process of all the things that Capricorn is about. And it's similar to what we were talking about last week with Saturn energy. And so structures, systems, institutions are frameworks of understanding, the foundations of understanding, the foundations of the systems and institutions that we operate under. And Saturn and Capricorn have to do with achievement, hard work, putting in the effort, earning the rewards. So we have this outer planet, this powerful, potent planet that deals with death and rebirth, transformation, the ultimate issues of power and empowerment. And it's going through this sign of systems and structures and institutions and frameworks. So that Capricorn sign relates to the bony structures in the body. So it's our framework, it's our structure, it's what holds us up. That same thing relates to structures that we deal with in society. So our systems, our institutions, things like the Constitution, our systems of government, our systems of healthcare, our systems of financial institutions, of education, even of how we conceive of a family system. And so you can see that in these recent years, as Pluto has been going through Capricorn, we've had really, as human beings, some changes, some transformation, some deep grappling with what those institutions are, what they're based on, where they come from, where we want them to be. So no matter what your politics or what your belief systems are, those themes have been up. And we have this opportunity to look deeply at how those systems and structures and frameworks are created. So Pluto's going to be an important planet, and with Saturn coming close to it, obviously these themes are being even more highlighted and significant. And we will, as we head toward the exact conjunction of Saturn and Pluto on January 12th, we are feeling that intensity build. And we're feeling the breakdown of our systems and structures. We're feeling, excuse me, the call and the need to step up in our own courage and confidence, and what it is that we need to take a stand for, what it is that we feel deeply passionate about, what's important to us, and how we step into our own empowerment in terms of helping to lay the foundations of what we want to create for the future. So that is that. There's another piece of what the transits in 2020 hold for us. And then next week we are going to be talking about the planet Jupiter, which is also involved in the transits of 2020. Jupiter is going to be making 3 exact conjunctions with Pluto next year in Capricorn, and Jupiter will be making a conjunction with Saturn just immediately after both go into Aquarius. So in the very first degree of Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn will be conjunct. So now we're going to be talking also in this video series about the symbolism of Aquarius and what that means for our future. Capricorn has more to do with the systems and structures of the past, but it also has to do with how we're creating plans and foundations and putting in the effort to frame the future. Aquarius has more to do with the vision and the rebellion against the old ways of being. So we'll be talking about that as we go through, and we'll be looking at specifically some generalities about what you might be going through in terms of your own personal path based on a particular part of your chart that I'm going to talk about, called the lunar nodes. And it's a great hint that helps to affirm what it is you're doing and how you're doing your own healing work. So stay tuned for all of that. Of course, next week will be Thanksgiving, and Jupiter's perfect time to, or Thanksgiving is a perfect time to talk about Jupiter, because Jupiter has to do with gratitude and abundance and indulgence and even overindulgence. So we're going to be looking at that, how that relates to the symbolism of the transits in 2020. If you want to catch any videos that you might have missed, they are on my Facebook page. They're also on my YouTube channel, Astrology Heals, in both cases. And you can go to astrologyheals.com, sign up on my email newsletter list, where I will send you the links to each new video as it is released. As we go through, 1 video per week released on Thursdays. You'll get the link to the latest video, as well as links to any that you may have missed that you want to catch up on. So if you're enjoying time with your family next week and want to catch up later, that's totally fine. They'll all be here for you, and I look forward to continuing to share this journey toward 2020 with you, and understanding more deeply what it has in store for all of us. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.